More Zoom training. And I've had a little bit more time to prepare for this one, so hopefully it'll be a little bit more exciting than last time. Although I'm sure you all loved it last time. So,
Yeah, right.
first things first, right? Everybody is doing amazingly well, right? And I know that because I looked through this last time to see what I talked about last time, and most of the things that we talked about, you've all taken on board and made real changes. So that's amazing. So there's just a few things to highlight actually. So we'll go through that. But first of all, congratulations. You're all doing fantastically well. And it's because of doing things like this that that we're making the progress. So first of all, well done. Thank you. So this was the first slide that I put up last time, right? About us working hard as a team and supporting each other. Now, the only thing I wanted to highlight here was basically about the teamwork aspect of it, about us attacking as a team and offering options to players on the ball. And we'll get to that in a bit, okay? Because other than that, everybody's doing really well in terms of working hard to get the ball back. Everybody is now looking shattered after a game. I've noticed that as a difference. And the support of the team has been much better too. So brilliant. You know, this is changes in a few weeks. We only went through this about 4 weeks ago. And the tactics, again, just two things that I'll pick up on there. So we're committed to playing good, attractive football and mixing it up, some left, some right. So we'll go through a bit of that later. Oh, and the thing that I highlighted down the bottom was something that you've probably heard me screaming at you 20 times a game. Shape, exactly, yeah. And we'll see. What I want to do is just see why shape is really important with some of the rest of the stuff that we're going to do now, okay? And so the general points that I want to pick up on. So this is just observations over the last week or so. So in that first game against Radley, which I'm sure we'll all agree we were all disappointed in, where we didn't score any goals, do you know, in that whole game of 40 minutes, other than when we passed the ball out from the back or took a goal kick, we didn't pass the ball once. And then we didn't score a goal, right? And again, we're going to come on to all of this. And their 4 goals, I was trying to remember, I think 3 of them came from really good passes. So that shows the importance of passing. And then when we played the second game, the development game, the first time we passed, Ryan scored. And then all of the other, not every other goal came from a pass, but of the 6 goals, lots of them came from passes. And my main point here is that a while ago, 6 months ago, we were playing teams that you could just sort of run past, right? You know, they weren't very good defensively, but that's not the case anymore. Everybody's getting older and the teams are getting better. And we now need to start playing really good football to beat these teams, okay? So this is what we're going to focus on today, about playing good football. So we've got a video to watch and we're going to start with Spurs, I think. Yes, it is Spurs.
Is this showing how it shouldn't be done?
This is showing us how it should be done, Sam. Yeah. You're going to watch and learn here. So what we're going to see here, right? Well, we can watch it. Is we're going to see. Oh, I've lost my mouse. We're going to see some really good passing and movement. Okay, and this is. Can you all see that? Okay. So look, there's nobody's running with the ball. It's all passes, touches.
Another one to print and frame.
That was when Dele Alli could play football. Anyone know what teams lead there? No. Sonny Mark.
Yeah, Leeds, yeah. They're getting back to again. Lovely 1-2. Brilliant move. Will it have an end result? Yes, it will. Created. Finished by his kick.
Right, yeah.
Control from Aguero. De Bruyne alongside. De Bruyne's pass. Kyle Walker. Leroy Sané. Touches it in for the screen. City of ripped. Arsenal haunted.
So, hopefully you can see from all of that it wasn't about people just running with the ball at all, was it? It was about pass, pass, pass. And what you'll see in football is that the ball moves so much faster than someone running with the ball. So if we want to get from one end of the pitch to the other, it's not about having someone pick up the ball and run and get to the other end of the pitch. It's about passing it to someone who's, moving up the other end of the pitch. So obviously, to have someone to pass to, we need to do a lot of good running off the ball into space to receive the ball. And we want to be using the full width of the pitch as well. And that's why I keep saying shape, 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 because if we're in our formation, our sort of diamond formation, then we've got someone wide to pass it to. And if you've got the ball, you'll know where your teammates are. So, this is really important, and we're going to come on to a little bit of that. So what we're going to see here is this is a bit more relevant to us because, excuse me, because it's five-a-side. So, I keep losing my mouse. So what we're going to see is these guys scored a really nice little goal in five-a-side, and then how they learn to play like that. And I was doing it without the opposition. So can you see how without the opposition, it's really quite easy movements, but it's just moving the ball and making sure the people are in the right place. So what we're going to do is we're going to start to learn some patterns like that. So as, we've got these patterns to follow and everything. We kind of do that with the goal kick at the moment, don't we? Where we sort of say, okay, we're going to play it short, and then depending on who's moving, we'll play it into the space. So this is really the next step that we need to get to really be competing in the higher leagues, because honestly, we can't run it past the teams in the higher leagues. We're struggling to run it past the teams in our league, right? Radley were definitely didn't have the best players that we played against by far, but they defended as a team, and actually when they had the ball, they outpassed us and they beat us. So what I want to see is, we can outperform any other team if we start doing this type of thing and start getting these patterns into our play. Okay, so it'll be a lot easier to work on the drills without the opposition. So quite often we're doing stuff at the moment, and I'm getting sort of one team against another team. So I think what we'll do is we'll start off by not having the defenders, basically, so as we can really start to learn what the patterns are. And what I need you to be doing is, when we're playing, it's looking at the whole pitch and what's going on. So rather than just sort of picking up the ball, head down and running, it's really about, getting the ball and having your head up and seeing where everybody is, seeing where the space is on the pitch, where we want to move the ball to. Okay. And we talked a lot about, making the right decisions on the ball a few weeks ago, didn't we? And those decisions that we've got are things like, shall we take the player on? Now, obviously, that was the decision that most people made against Radley, and it wasn't the right decision, because you're allowing the opposition to get back and defend. You're sort of running into the corner of the pitch where you can't really do anything. So actually, if one of your teammates is in space, then that's probably the right decision, to get the ball, not keep hold of it for too long, pass it on, move it up the pitch, play it into space, okay? Or you can pass it to feet, obviously, as well. So we've been doing a bit of pass it into spaces, where last week when we were playing the ball down the line and running onto it and then putting it across the box, that's like an easy pattern for us to learn, right? But we don't want to spend too long on the ball in reality. So this is something that I've put together, right? And I only worked this out today. So what I'm going to do is come up with quite a few different little plays for us to learn. And there'll be some, so we can see it visually like this beforehand, and then we'll try and make it work on the pitch. Okay, so I'll hit play here. Oh, what's happened?
We're back.
Yeah, we're back. I'll hit play here and you'll see I can make it a lot better than this as well. Now I know how to do it. But so this is our sort of pass out that we do. So the ball goes to the defender, then a player pushes out. So there's a space. You can see the space that in this thing Oscar can run into. But then watch what happens, right? Can you see where the space is? Bang, that's where the ball needs to go. And we scored. So
how do you know that will happen in real life?
So you don't know exactly where the other team are going to move, but what you can do is well, I'll tell you one thing, stood on the sidelines, I can see that's exactly where the space is. The space is behind the 3 attacking players. So we'll play that again. So once we've got the ball past that number 10 player, that's where the initial space is. And then in this thing, if Ryan gets past player number 9 and Hiru drags the other player across, you can see where the ball needs to go. So this is just an example of like 2 passes. I'll tell you, so I've said that. We scored this exact goal at Oxford City, didn't we? Do you remember? Willis played, it was on the other side, it was on the left. Willis played the ball through, didn't he? And I can't remember who was on the left who crossed it.
I think it was Hiru when it went to.
Yeah,
right. Hiru was up front. I think it literally went goalie to Willis. Willis played it in between the 2 opposing players, and then it was through the Hero on goal.
Yeah, exactly.
And it literally it's that simple.
It really is that simple, yeah. So I'm going to do a bit more of that with my new coaching board that I can work that out, right? So team play. So we'll do a bit more of this, and it's all about patterns, and we'll just repeat it, right? It's almost like sorry, 1 second. My mute gone. It's all about patterns, and it's almost like tying your shoelaces. You just got to learn the pattern. It's like juggling, right? If you try juggling enough, you'll learn to be able to juggle. So we just need to do these things enough. But what I want to do is once I've got these little plays, I think it helps visually to see it. I can't go back now. To see it how I just showed you on that little board, right? So we can see where we need to move the ball. So yeah, so when we see it like this, I can send it around on WhatsApp and we can all have a quick look at it. And I just think the more we try different tools to try and get us all on the same page, the better we'll be, which is why we're recording this as well, so the other guys can see it too. Yeah, so it's my job to do my homework and come up with these little plays and everything. And maybe you guys can think of some as well, right? You're on the pitch, you see where the gaps are, so you can come up with some too. And then it's your job to learn them. I'm sure you all spend time on your iPads and stuff like that. So if you spend some time on your iPads looking at these things that I can send through, then we're just gonna get better as a team, because this is all we need to do now. It's all about team. Okay, so I had this last time. When we play our best football, we're unstoppable, right? We use the space, the wings, we put dangerous crosses in the box, we run fast into space, we defend as an organised unit. And it is so true. I wrote it last time, it's true now. Okay, and I think that is everything. So we don't need to linger on. If you want, I'll send through the little videos that I showed you, so you can watch it on your iPads or on your mum and dad's phone or whatever. I'll record this, and this is recorded, send it to other people too. Has anybody got any thoughts on what we just went through?
I think I know that people probably observed it. We're working from the back going forwards. We seem to 9 times out of 10 get it right in the first phase, but you're 100% right. It's the second and third phase that we seem to be breaking down at the moment.
Yeah.
Which then applies the pressure on the back line. As I said, it's irrelevant who's playing where. The process just seems to be falling down. So I think it's not individuals that are not doing it. It's just us changing as a team to try and get a sort of formula that will work. Both Radley teams played in the same way.
Yeah.
From memory, they both got the ball, comfortable, and then they just hit the diagonal effectively or down the line, which is what we're going to pretty much do. And one for one, we will do it better than they will. We just
definitely. And they all, but they also pass the ball after that, right? I feel like the bit we've got right is like you say, step one. But then we're just getting the ball, and on against Radley, it was a shot, wasn't it? It was not the right decision. We must have had 30 shots, all wide or weak on target, and we're not going to score from 20 yards out.
No.
We might get one lucky one.
Yeah, I was going to say that the sort of worst thing to happen will be the first one goes in, and then everybody thinks they can do it. You know, we've all been there. But the key, it's almost like the talent that are in the team at the moment and how good they're becoming as players. It is about the full team, as you said. It's just getting them to understand it's about how many the team scores as a goal, as opposed to the individual. It's key, really. Absolutely.
And I think this is all our journey together. And what I want us to do is just, when we realize that there's areas that we need to improve on, just think of the best way of us all understanding as a team what we're trying to achieve, and then working hard to achieve it. Right.